don't even believe in retirement. It's like you can rewire.
Right.
You can move from one career into something else that brings you joy, brings you passion, it enlivens you, lights you up. It's like you are here for a purpose. It's encoded in you. You access that and it will vibrate and be vital until you leave the planet.
Hello and welcome back to the Alchemy Transmission, Revealing the Gold Within. My name is Melinda Jacobs, and I am your transformation guide. I work with people all around the world, helping them move through and beyond trauma, transmuting old survival patterns, and remembering the wholeness, the power, and the possibility that has always been within them. So I have such a treat for you today. I have the most amazing woman, Cynthia James. Cynthia is a spiritual leader, a mentor coach. She trains and certifies emotional freedom coaches. She's a singer and songwriter. She has a podcast, Women Awakening. She is the author of many books, her newest being The Kingdom of Magic and Mystery, Does My Voice Matter? I Choose Me, What Will Set You Free? And she has a TED Talk called The Past Does Not Define Us. Cynthia James, my gosh, thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm so happy to be with you.
So Cynthia has been my mentor for a number of years. Cynthia had a group called AWE, the Academy of Women Emerging. And that's where my journey with you began. And it's just such an honor to have you here.
I'm grateful to be here.
So, Cynthia, you are probably one of the most inspirational people I know. And in our coaches group, in the Emotional Freedom Coaches group, you are constantly sharing what your next project is, what your next creation is, what your next inspiration is. And so I just don't experience you as someone who moves through a later stage of life. I see you and I experience you as someone still being actively lived by life. And so when you hold yourself as an expression of source, how do you relate to time, to seasons, and this weird idea that anything in us is meant to either slow down or diminish? Let's start there.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Well, first of all, any spiritual teacher will tell you that where the universe is concerned, where spirit is concerned, there's no time and space. Now, we know in the human experience that we have this thing called aging. I mean, because the body is only going to go so long. It's a beautiful machine. For me, it's like the concept of getting old, I don't relate to. For me, it's yes, I am aging. I mean, I've been here 7 decades, so yes, I'm aging. But it's like, what does that have to do with creation? What does that have to do with evolution? What does that have to do with expanding? And for me, it's nothing. It's like, why would, the universe, God, whatever you choose to call it, breathe its life into me and say, but you only get to go to 50 or, and then you got to lay down. That makes no sense to me.
Right. Right. And it's so interesting, I've recently moved to Cottonwood, Arizona into a 55 plus community, which seems weird because I'm still like 25, right?
Of course.
and I feel this collective energy around me that kind of holds that idea that, oh, it's all downhill after, or that somehow this stage of our lives is supposed to be this. Like, I can energetically feel it, just like I can feel the Arizona sun. Like, it just has this kind of energy to it. And so in that idea, what do you know? Not just not believe, but what do you know about source that makes that story absolutely irrelevant for you? You've already kind of touched on that, but I'm just wondering if you could deepen into that a little bit.
Mm. So what you're talking about is enculturation. I mean, I'm a baby boomer, and the whole thing about aging was you work this job your whole life, you get to this point, you retire, and then and it's like, okay, I don't even believe in retirement. It's like you can rewire.
Right.
You can move from one career into something else that brings you joy, brings you passion, it enlivens you, lights you up, and you can do that until you leave this planet. Uh, um, my husband just did a shoot with Jane Goodall before she left the planet, right?
The
In her
pictures were
90s,
amazing.
traveling all over the world. I mean, it's like you are here for a purpose. It's encoded in you. You access that and it will vibrate and be vital until you leave the planet.
So, I mean, I so agree with you, and I remember, years ago, maybe a decade or so ago, I had that understanding that this body temple was not designed to break down at 40 or 50. That whole idea of
Mm.
like, "Oh, it's all downhill." And I don't know, I just don't understand where that came from. But I have this theory, and I'm curious about your comments about it because you do energy work, you do a lot of consciousness stuff, you do a lot of pulling and gathering our energy. That's what you've taught us in some of the
Mhm.
mentoring classes that I've been in with you. But I really started to see and understand that if we are leaving bits of our energy in that time on the playground and in that time in childhood, and I found a lot of my energy in my childhood closet, by the way.
Mm, mhm.
And so I started calling it back into this moment, into this dimension, and people made comments. They're like, "You're getting, what are you doing? Like, are you using like some new face cream? Like, you look really glowing and you're getting younger." And I'm about to hit 60, and I see people around me, and I think, "Oh, honey, what happened?" I don't understand. And so I'm just wondering if you could speak to that practice of collecting, gathering yourself, and concentrating consciousness in this moment.
Well, here's the thing. We're called on the planet, I believe, to be 100% present. And if you are 100% present, then of course you are expressing energetically because we're energetic beings.
Mm.
But that doesn't mean that it has to deplete you. Now, because we're human, sometimes there are relationships that are interesting and pull our energy. And sometimes there's experiences that are interesting and pull our energy. But you are always a choice. You are always the captain of your own ship. You also get to say, I no longer want my energy to be there. I can call it back in. I can bless that experience as a learning opportunity. I can look at that person as a master teacher that we had a soul contract for healing, but they don't own my energy. I do.
I'm wondering if you could speak to that, because I think that that's such a powerful thing you said, that reclamation of our power, and
Mhm.
to realize that when we stay entangled, when we stay in the story, when we stay in the hurt and the blame, because you've helped me through that a number of times because I've had interesting, relationships. um, what was Where did you start with working through letting go of that entanglement, letting go of the stickiness of the blame and the hurt? What was it for you that freed you from
Mhm.
that?
You know, the image is carrying experiences, people, challenges. It's like you've packed them in a bag and you've got them on your back and you're trying to climb a mountain.
Yes.
It's like, well, how about if I let go of the bag? How about if I don't have to hold that in the freedom coaching work, in the book What Will Set You Free, the first thing is, what's your story? Because that's in the bag. That's all the history and all the drama and all that other stuff. It happened. Some of it was extraordinarily painful. I wouldn't wish my childhood on anybody.
Mhm.
But the thing is, it's like, but what if that's not the end of your story? What if you create the end of your story, the different kind of story? When I did the TED Talk, it's like I wanted people to know, yes, stuff happens, but it doesn't define you. You define you. You get to say who you want to invite in. You get to say what you want to do. You get to say who you want to do it with. And
Mhm.
if it's not a fit, they get to be dumped on the side of the road out of in that, bag. You don't have to carry them. Um, you have to deal with the experiences. You cannot deny experience, but you do not have to take it on as defining you as broken or needing to be fixed.
Right. Yeah. Beautiful. Those words, you have to deal with it. I'm so passionate about that. Like, I've worked with people all around the world, helping people deal with it. And you know what that means. I know what that means. But for the people listening, can you maybe say a little bit more about what does it mean through your lens, through your understanding, through the embodiment of the work you've done to deal with it?
Well, the thing is, it's like your emotions are messengers. They tell you everything. They tell you that you were um, abused in a certain area because anytime something even remotely feels familiar to that energy comes forward and says, "Uh-oh, uh-oh, I'm not safe." So the thing for me is like to deal with it means if there's any experience that keeps repeating itself, any pattern that keeps repeating itself, any behavior that keeps repeating itself that does not serve you, those are messages that said you have not dealt with something and it will amplify. The little tap and then the smack and then the 2x4, it will amplify until you pay attention to it because it has a message, and that message always contains the seed of healing and transformation.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think that just to acknowledge that maybe I'm not ready to shift the pattern yet, but just to acknowledge it. It's like this is in the way. This is really not helping me, or I'm in the loop. And just to acknowledge it is such a profound step for dealing with it. It's just name it. Just
Yeah.
name it.
Yeah, well,
Um,
just even people who smoke, who
right.
say, "I shouldn't be smoking," but they are not ready to let it go. You can't force that. You have
Right.
to get to the place where you understand that the benefits of letting go are outweigh the gift of, doing that drag on that cigarette.
Right. Right. And I would imagine, because the whole point of this podcast was to help people understand that there is information in the space. It's not just the
Mhm.
words that are being talked about, that are being spoken, but there is a transmission of consciousness. And for someone who might be listening, who's feeling that little stir of more life wanting to move through them, but they haven't yet given themselves permission, what does your daily devotion to aliveness look like? How do you stay
Mhm.
available to being used by spirit?
Well, I start my day with the non-negotiable. I have a spiritual practice. I read, I meditate, I journal. I I have, you know, okay, for those of you who are into angels and guides, I have I have guides that I interact with every morning.
Mm,
Anybody that knows me knows the first 45 minutes of my day, do not try to talk to me because I'm not doing it. And I don't look at the phone. My friend is a naturopath and said your cortisol levels are the highest when you wake up. So if you pick up your phone right away, you're exacerbating those cortisol levels. And
yeah,
so that phone is over there. I'm doing the spiritual practice, and I also, it's a non-negotiable for me that I work out at the gym at least 3 times a week. Um, but I'm really clear that spirit is always talking to us, but you cannot hear it if you busy.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, I love that. Is there ever a time in Cynthia James' life where the little words inside "I don't wanna" or just like, "Oh." Does that
Oh yeah.
ever happen for you?
Oh, oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
And what do you say to the voice?
First of all, I really look at which part of me, which personality inside of me is saying that.
Mhm,
I've done a lot of study on interpersonalities and things, and um generally speaking, when that little voice comes in, it is either my inner child, who's saying, all you do is work, and considers that this spiritual practice thing is work too. How come we're not playing?
mhm,
Right? That
mhm,
pops in. But then there's another part that's the I'm gonna call it the chief operating officer that lives within me, that's like, let's get stuff done, let's security, I mean, it's like busy, busy, busy.
mhm.
And so it will go, we're not gonna be doing that spiritual practice thing because we got stuff to do. And that part of me used to hijack me all the time. But I'm aware now when that comes in, that those voices come in, it's like, okay, um, tell me what you need, and then I will tell you what I need in this moment so I can give you what you need.
I love that. It's beautiful. I've learned so much about that inner personality from you, and we've done personally some really profound work, and it's a great way of creating that deeper connection with self and inviting in higher wisdom, be it a higher
Mhm,
self or God or the universe or whatever. But I feel more whole, more singularly focused because of these tools, because of this teaching. It's very profound. Yeah. If you could, this is going to be my last question. If you
mhm.
could place one gentle truth into the heart of your younger self, something that would have revealed the gold within a little sooner, what would you whisper?
Mhm. You're a masterpiece in the making, and your life is assured to be beautiful and powerful.
The tears. Thank you. Cynthia, what's going on with you? Where can people find you? What's coming up for you?
CynthiaJames.net is my website. I have a year-end gathering where people can come for free and be in community, where we can let go of anything we don't want to take into 26 and create something new. And then at the beginning of the year, I'm going to do a free 7-day meditation every Sunday from no, not every Sunday, every day for 7 days.
Nice.
7 days, and it's 30 minutes, and people can come in, and we're gonna meditate on a theme so that we can jumpstart 2026.
Oh, I love that. What time are you doing that at?
7:30 AM Mountain.
Mountain time.
And so
Mm.
you people on the Pacific, I'm just sending you love.
And people on the East Coast, just take a moment in your busy day and just for 30 minutes. Because that's all it takes, right? It just
That's right.
takes that moment, that commitment to self to say, this is really important. And it does. It sets you up so beautifully. Cynthia, thank you for being such a guiding light in my life.
I love
I,
you, Melinda.
I love you
Grateful.
so much. Thank you so much. What wisdom, what gold. To be in Cynthia's presence, to be the recipient of her teachings, of her coaching. It has grown me, it has stretched me, and I just can't speak enough about how powerful this woman is. And so please do follow her, cynthiajames.net. Get on that call for the beginning of the year. If you can get to the final releasing ceremony that she's doing, do that as well. She's a gift to us. Thank you all, beloveds, for listening. Please subscribe, please follow, please share. Remember, the gold within has always been there within you, and I am just so happy to be your guide into this transformation. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. And of course, above all things, please be kind. See you next time.